Hello, this is Wayne Jones. I'm at a camp being set up by Pobol, Atal, Wylfa, People Against Wylfa Nuclear Power Station in North Wales on the island of Ynys Mon. It's the 25th of August. The camp has been going for 2 days now. There's a public meeting tonight in the local village of Cymru, and I've got with me Dylan Morgan, one of the long-term campaigners against the nuclear power here on Anglesea, and I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. Dylan, hello. The local people around here, how are they welcoming the new project?
Well, less so by now. Certainly about 9 and 10 years ago, there was a big surge of propaganda in favour of two new reactors at a site near the present Wylfa site. And it was quite difficult in the first few years to convince people that this was a bad idea. But over the years, of course, all this has been going on since almost 10 years now, when Tony Blair insisted in his second energy review that nuclear should be back in the mix. But nothing's really happening. Okay, they've been trashing land here and drilling, but the holding company here locally, Horizon, they're merely the puppets of Hitachi, and any ultimate decision to invest will be made in a boardroom in Tokyo, and not here locally. And I think there is a growing realisation of the vast scale of this project, because of the land that Horizon own now is 11 times the size of the original Wylfa site. So it is huge and comes very close to the village of Tregele on one side, and very close to the back of the village of Cymru on the other side. So I think people have started to worry about the value of their houses. I think the argument that there'll be a permanent, more or less, nuclear waste dump site next to these two reactors, I think that's worrying people. It's taken time for that information to seep through, because it's been difficult at times to get a fair hearing in the media, but those types of arguments now are getting through to people, and they are worried. And it's been quite interesting. People who have stopped at the camp to chat, that's been quite encouraging, and people passing in cars and waving and so on, so that's also been encouraging to us as well.
Last night, local man, Emlyn Richards, was talking. He comes from Cymru, the village here, and he was saying that things that was putting people off wind development and pylon development was the way that it might affect their house prices. Do you think there's going to be a spillover of that attitude towards the new power stations when people realise how much bigger and intrusive they are than the present station?
Yeah, well, it's certainly true, especially in Cymru, just a matter of 200 yards down Tregele, which is more immediately opposite the land that Horizon would build these new reactors on. So they are very aware of the impact on their house prices already. In other places on the island, it's quite a strange phenomenon, really, that people are worried about wind turbines, and indeed pylons that would have to be built if these two reactors were built at Wylfa. It's quite strange how some of these people don't seem to mind about having the new reactors, but they don't want pylons scarring the landscape. Well, a 160-year nuclear waste dump on site, well, that's a much more serious scar on the landscape and a threat to human life and the environment. and people should wake up to that.
So yeah, people seem to be sensitive to the money. In fact, they would do anything that might affect their house price, but at the same time they want to believe that this industry here is going to bring them jobs. Yeah, they live in a very beautiful area, don't they? And it's an area that could easily be exploited in many ways and bring people in to enjoy the area for recreation and other things.
Certainly.
And they've been in a better position possibly than an awful lot of communities around here, you know. So
this is a particularly beautiful stretch of coastline across the northern part of Ynys Mon, and it's a shame that we have this one huge concrete blot on the landscape, meaning that the coastal path has to be diverted around it. You know, there'll be infringement here on sensitive habitats, sites of specific scientific interest, and it's vandalism, really, environmental vandalism, that they even think of imposing such a threatening development on such a beautiful part of Wales.
Yes, I see that. The environmental visual impact of the present power station, and obviously that will be closing down soon because it's one of the very first nuclear reactor program from the very first nuclear reactor program, which will be going through its decommissioning over the next quite a few years. Is going to have a visual impact, but that's not really anything compared to what's going to be happening here. If there's the new power stations are going to be built on the hill, sort of further up, which was going to be, they're going to be visible from a lot further away than this station here. Plus, these pylons could actually go if this new nuclear power station closed here and a new one wasn't put in its place. So they would actually use.
That's true.
They would actually lose that.
With the two proposed reactors, they're talking of levelling a part of the area, so I'm not quite sure whether they'd replace all that soil and rubble to try and screen it, but you can't really screen. If you approach this location from east or west, this present reactor is clearly visible, and I can't see that two new ones would be successfully screened either. I'm sure that'll be an issue. There are a lot of trees around this old reactor, but you can't, even with mutation, I don't think you'll be able to grow trees as quickly enough to make this new one unobtrusive. It's very big, isn't it? Well done. Thanks very much. That's great. We'll see what's happening at the public meeting tonight, I'm sure, and hear a few vocal voices from the local people about what they think as well. Thank you very much.